Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Eclectic As A Podcast. It's me, Mark, and today's episode is going to be about me returning to work during this COVID time. So, I returned to work about August the 5th, and it's been kind of like a nervous type situation, at least with the first couple of days. So, I think I mentioned it in the first episode. I'm an assistant teacher at an elementary school. So far with the first, I want to say it's been like a week and a half. It's mostly just been training and learning about the protocols on how we're going to be able to teach and move around the schools once we actually get the students back. And I'll say with the protocols that were given to us, it's just like, I don't know how long they expect us to like be in school with the list of protocols they've given us to teach during, I guess, the COVID era. I mean, some of the protocols that I've seen is just like, they know we work with elementary kids. Like, I gotta understand maybe with the middle school and high school, it could possibly work, which I don't think it is. But with elementary students and the list of protocols they've given us, it's like, it's only a matter of time till we just send all of our students back home. So one of the protocols they gave us that was kind of a big shocker was how they want us to do recess. So they pretty much let us know that all the playgrounds are pretty much closed from the students. All of the fields are, I guess, could be used, but obviously the students are still gonna have to wear the mask and social distance, but the students won't be able to actually play with each other. It's like everybody's just gonna be outside in their own spot doing their own thing. And the students also can't use the school equipment to play. But for some reason, they're cleared to bring their own toys to school as long as it's not considered a distraction, which means that there's a high chance that a student can possibly bring something that's contaminated to school. So that's just one of the protocols that definitely is a head scratcher. Like, another protocol that I saw was how they want to do lunch. It's, for some reason, some of the classes can go to the cafeteria and obviously social distance at the cafeteria, but some of the classes for some reason get the luck out and stay in their own classroom and have lunch brought to them. So it's kind of like a flip-flop situation when it comes to some of these protocols. It's like, I think it was just kind of like put together quickly to see what can we do to have the students in school but keep them safe without actually thinking it totally all the way out. Because I think from what I learned from the teachers this past week, it's like their mindset is, how long until we go back home and just go straight to online? I mean, I want to say like 80% of their mindset is, we're going to be going home to teach online. It's like, yeah, we're putting our classes together, we're setting up everything, but we're most likely going to be going home to teach online. And it's like the other 20% of their thought is, yeah, I'm kind of wasting my time putting this classroom together. So, I mean, I'm still nervous about it because, again, I didn't think that this job would be going to high risk. It's more like, when you think of teaching, it's like, you know, at most it's going to be stressful, not that high paying, but now it's kind of like a high risk situation. Because if you've ever worked with children, whether it's teaching or daycare, it's like, children are walking petri dishes. So it's like, you can literally get sick being around kids like it's nothing. Like, I want to say, when I was away from teaching, because I left the first time at my other teaching job around 2017, like between that time and to the first 2 weeks that I got back to this job in January, I only had gotten sick just one time. But as soon as I got to my teaching job in January, 2 weeks in, I got sick. So it was like being around kids is definitely high risk of getting sick. So the fact that now it isn't just with the COVID, you can't just power through and still stay on campus and be sick. You can't think of it of, maybe it's just a little bug, you know, take a cough drop, take some tea, then I'll be straight to make it through the week. Like, now they're telling us we have to go straight home. Like, with another protocol, it's like we have to go straight to a doctor to get tested to see if possibly if we have anything that would be considered I want to say a symptom. It's even worse for the teachers that have spouses or kids in the system. They'll also have to be pulled if anybody shows symptoms. And so a teacher who's maybe not sick at all will possibly have to miss days due to the fact that either their wife or husband or kid even showed the smallest possibility of being sick, and it will possibly cost them actual money. Even though with the protocols that's been set, we've actually been given like a set 10 days that can be used if we're getting tested or possibly showed some type of symptoms where we still get paid. But obviously if we run those days up, we'll have to use our saved up sick days and then be home unpaid. So the COVID is definitely making people nervous on their pay because we can lose days and money even if we're not sick. So that's why with these protocols, they seem like quick duct tape fix situations for the inevitable, which is going to be shut down, and hopefully not due to a student or a teacher being sick, but to hopefully set up a better plan for online teaching. Because when we first went into the shutdown in March, the online teaching was also kind of like put together quickly, and it just filled in enough to where the students were able to get some education. Like, I know I had to do Google classes and sometimes even Zoom calls, and it just was not working teaching wise. And the main problem is the fact that some of the students are just not capable of accessing the internet. Even though where I'm at, the schools were able to provide Chromebooks to, I think, all the students. But where I live is not the most economically stable county. So the main thing that some of the students had when it came to online teaching was not being able to access the internet. Even with them having Chromebooks, some students just don't have internet at home. So some of the students actually had to wait until late April or May when the schools set up hotspots at the schools and the county buildings, and they had to access it from the parking lot to finish up the school year. So the plan, I think, should be for the schools to set up a better teaching online, because safety-wise, being on campus, being around each other, is just a high possibility of disaster. And obviously, we know how dangerous COVID is. Just having all the teachers and students pile all together into schools again like it's nothing is obviously going to lead to more cases and, God forbid, possibly more deaths. And that's why the government should have given schools more time to set up a plan to go fully online. Because as of right now, the county I'm in, they're giving the students an option to either come back to campus or stay home and be online. But the problem with, at least in the field I'm in, it's like how many parents can afford to have their kids stay at home by themselves for an entire school year? How many parents can possibly get their pre-K kindergartner or first grader to start up a Chromebook and stay on the Chromebook for hours for a whole class day? I mean, the plans just don't seem like they're gonna work. Like, they're literally quick fix, but they don't fill in all the holes teaching wise. And that's why I feel as though we should have been given more time to set up a plan that works and covers all of our bases. Even though I don't know how long it would take, but I think what it's been like, I want to say 4 or 5 months, that's not enough time to set up a plan. So with that, I'll wrap this episode up and first say sorry for the late drop. I've definitely been trying to stay consistent with the weekly drop, but me going back to work has been more of a mental training thing. I think I'll get used to it and still get episodes out on a weekly basis. And also make sure you check on people that have had to work during this crisis, like from the start, especially people that have been in the medical field and pretty much all the other essential workers. So with that, remember to stay safe, wear a mask, and if you're going back to work, get yourself mentally right. Hopefully you enjoy the episode and you'll listen out for the next one.